Bayou Time Sports is brought to you by Terrible General Health System's Community Sports Institute in conjunction with Barker Honda.
Joining me now is Coach Pat Szush. Of course, he is getting inducted into the Hall of Fame tonight, and several Hall of Fames now, several honors. They're just so well deserved. And how do you feel about tonight?
Actually, it's wonderful. I mean, I have wonderful family. I had wonderful football players, basketball, and I had wonderful coaches.
Yeah.
You can't do it by yourself.
Well, and you've always said that, but it seems like everybody who talks about Coach Pat Szush reveres you in the way you were able to reach out. You still had discipline, of course, you know.
Oh, yes, good discipline, good kids. I mean, they were respectable. Well, like I went to Thibodeau College with the Brothers of Sacred Heart, the sisters of them. They were tough. My mother and father were very strict in times. So you learn. You make a mistake. You got home, you made a bigger mistake.
Yeah. Now, how does it feel to have Coach Laurie DuPont being inducted on the same night? That's special.
It's wonderful. I mean, Laurie was a very excellent football player. My quarterback won state championships, and he became a good coach. He became so good, I even hired him. And he was very good. Him and Joe Faki, Laurie DuPont, Cam Morvan, they were great.
You know, see, a lot of your family are here today.
Oh, yes.
Oh, they sure take care of you, don't they?
Yes. Oh, they take me. I don't spend too much time at the house. When I say, let's go here, we go. Get me out the house.
Yeah. So if you had to sort of give a little sentence to culminate what this honor means to you on a personal level, what would it mean?
Oh, it's hard to say. It's great. I mean, it's well planned and for the family, and it's great.
Yeah.
Bring back a lot of great memories.
Yeah. Well, you bring back a lot of memories for people because you set a winning tradition in motion. So at least you gave them something years later to look back on and say, we had pretty good teams.
Oh, yes. We had some good teams, good players, good administrators. It was.
Yeah.
You can't do it by yourself. You need help. And then I had a wonderful wife at 68, and she was my offensive and defensive coordinator.
Yeah. Coach, congratulations. Well deserved, and enjoy your night. Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health Systems, modern technology, and timeless caring. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights.
He lived on St. Michael Street, LaGuard Street, in 3 different houses, but all in the same neighborhood. So where I'm living now on St. Michael Street is where I've been living for the last 70, 80 years. We're only about 4 blocks from downtown Thibodeau and right in the middle of Thibodeau. We had a vacant lot where we played, mostly it was baseball and football, and I love basketball. That was it. You only played about 3 or 4 sports, and that's all you had. We had no gyms in the parish. The first gym was Mount Carmel. We played on a dirt court. My father, he was a disciplinarian. He was a Hungarian. And he knew what he liked and he knew what he didn't like. And I worked with, during the summertime, I'd work at the foundry. He had a foundry and a machine shop. And I'd go out with him, and he taught me a lot of things, what to like and what not to like, and what to do and not to do. When he told you not to do it, you didn't do it. If you did it, you got your butt back. When I was at Thibodeau High School, I was playing, Coach Theo Faki was the head coach. And that summer, I got in a bicycle, caught my foot, and I tore up my heel, and I couldn't play. So he told me, he said, look, well, do me a job. He said, will you coach the 9th graders? So I coached the 9th grade team. And we had 6 games. I believe we were either 5-1 or 6-0. And he told me, he said, Coach, he said, if you ever go to school and you can be a coach, he said, I'll hire you. And then when I got out of high school, I went to Thibodeau, to the Nichols Junior College, and I played baseball over there. And then I went to Southeastern. I didn't play baseball at Southeastern, but I came back to Thibodeau. When I graduated from Southeastern in '54, the first year I taught in Lockport with Dudley Hillman, and stayed there 1 year, and then Theo Fauquier hired me at Thibodeau High School. Theo Fauquier was a heck of a coach and a good leader, a good disciplinarian.
I stayed at Thibodeau High School for 2 years.
Okay.
And Theo became the principal. And then they just opened Thibodeau Junior High. That was the first junior high in the parish. And I was selected as the head coach in that later in the junior. I stayed there 5 years.
Vince McDonough left Thibodeau College, and they're looking for a coach, and I applied for it, and I got the job. When you went to Thibodeau College and so, you only had three teachers, 3 coaches, and one coached football, one coached basketball, one coached baseball. So I coached football at one time. I had basketball, I had baseball, I had track, I coached golf, tennis, and you did everything. Then they came in with cross country, and you only had 3 or 4 coaches, so you had to double up and so. But you coached a little bit of everything. When I went to Thibodeau College, I left Thibodeau Junior High in 1961, 62, and I applied for the job. And I really didn't go through all the physical parts of Thibodeau College. And anyhow, they called me that I had the job. Oh, I went there and I said, well, I looked at the equipment room, and it was about as large as right here with everything stacked up and so on. Where the kids dressed at? Over here. Most of them, I believe, dressed on the 3rd floor or so. I went in the shower room. They had 6 showers, I believe 3 worked. And I said, oh, geez, I said, boy, what the hell you did? But it's one of the best moves I ever made in my life. The Brothers of the Sacred Heart. Brother Hubert and Brother L.J. Lord. Then I had some good kids and good parents and good coaches.
A's hire A's, B's hire C's. Coach Szush was an A+ because of the people he hired.
If I had a talent, I guess, it was selecting assistant coaches. And I had some good ones.
Right.
And they stayed with me for years, and the offshoots, they became college, they became coaches out. And
the pinnacle of his success was the first 4 years of EDY football. Football season 1966, 67, 68, and 69, in which Coach Szush, 66 had a undefeated district champion, 67 had a semifinalist team, and of course 68, 69 had 2 state championship teams.
67 was a good ball club. We just happened to play on a night, on a Saturday night in Kenda, that things just didn't work out. The weather, front came in, it was freezing, raining earlier. We didn't get any help from any of the officials. The sideline marker man, he's on my side, and they're going 8 yards for a first down, and we're going 10, and I don't know what they did on the other side. Now, 68 was a different ball club, it was more mature, and 69, I believe, was a good year, but it was a carryover from 68, the leadership and so on.
Laurie and Joe Fauquier. Laurie was a quarterback. He could throw the ball, and he was a good leader. And I could call timeout and take my little chalkboard and call Laurie over and say, look, this is what we're going to do. They get back into the huddle, tell the kids, and we did it. And the same thing with the defense. You put the little chalkboard and said, write it down and call one of them and change it. We had good, smart kids, sharp kids. They became doctors, lawyers, engineers, designers, coaches, educators. I could change my offense and defense at the half, and they catch on right to it.
You develop talent and the ability to win. You developed leaders to direct and motivate, and you rewarded us by achieving goals we once thought were unachievable. To your credit, we all won in life.
We were fortunate to play in that era with a guy like Pat. Coach Szush has been so important to our group of guys, and has always encouraged us and demanded the best when we were football players.
And as I was going to the brother's house, Roosevelt Sanders asked, said, Coach, can I talk to you? I said, what do you need? He said, can we come out for football? I said, but first I said, let's check eligibility. Let's check their grades, their attendance, and so on. And I said, if they're eligible, I said, I see no reason not to play them. The All-Star game in 1969, I was with the West, and that was the first black that played in the All-Star game. I believe Charles Battle from the Shreveport area. But times has changed, and it's worked out. We had no problems.
I went to half a year at Assumption High School, and the job opened up, and Neil McQuigg was the principal, and I applied for it, and I got it. And I tell you, Neil McQuigg was a good principal.
Prior to the arrival of Coach Szush in 1977, Thibodeau High had not been to the playoffs since 1962. Coach Szush was smart, and as most players would say, Coach Szush forgot more football than most coaches ever knew in a lifetime. He was firm, but always kept his cool. He was a gentleman on and off the field. He never belittled a player, instead encouraged him to not repeat his mistake.
I don't believe I raised my voice too much, but when I did pick it up, they knew what was happening. And I wasn't energetic. I didn't run up and down the sidelines and so on, but I was pretty calm.
Right.
A couple of things instilled in me was to be a family person. Always think about your family, and he brought Thibodeau High together as a family.
I never heard the man ever raise his voice to any of us, which is unheard of in the coaching profession, but he never yelled at us. He could be profane at times, but he never yelled at us. The other thing I learned from Pat Szush was, if you lose your cool, you lose. And that man never lost his cool.
I had classmates, friends. See, we still had a lot of racial tension. Coach Szush said, Briscoe, let me tell you something. There's no color in my field house. I need you and Foot to talk to your players. I said, okay. Me and Foot talk. Cornell Henderson right here. I said, Cornell, the roughest thing at West was Ronnie Estate. I said, send him to me. I control the east side, y'all boys at West couldn't handle him. Of course, I said, Briscoe, let me tell you, ain't no more east and west. Y'all Thibodeau Tigers now.
If it wasn't for football, I believe I'd have lost interest in school, but you had to keep your grades up in order to play. And Coach, you talked to us and we was there. We fought for you.
Laurie, Joe Farquet, Cam Morvan, I had wonderful coaches. Tex, Bollinger.
Everything that he's taught me about life, not just coaching, still holds in my principles today. He led me to the greatest profession in the world as a teacher coach. And he always told me, he said, Laurie, remember, you're a teacher first and a coach. I never found a poor coach that wasn't a good teacher. That was a powerful statement.
Oh, I had Eric Gendelsek for only a year. He was tremendous.
Yeah.
I had Joe Farquet, who played football, baseball, track. I had Laurie DuPont. Became an outstanding athlete and also a very, very excellent coach. Ronald Scott at Thibodeau High School. He played up at Southern, played a little pro ball with Miami. Wayne Duncan, Ellery Scott, Lenny Kennedy. David O'Tan was a good athlete.
Oh, my wife, honey. Met her in high school. We went out. We dated a few times. And I graduated in 1949. And I got married. I got married when I was 19 and she was 17. She was still in school, a senior. And she was the first married to be in school to graduate. And then she became a wonderful wife, raised a good family and a good worker and a good cook. And when we went to school, we worked and we shared for 68 and a half years. I don't believe we had an argument. We used to get in the car sometime after a football game, drive to the corner and say, where are we going? I don't know. We'd take off, put our suitcase and go to Mississippi, Alabama. We'd spend a weekend somewhere and had fun. So Bill was a good athlete. And Jerry Lee, my daughter, she was a good teacher, a good student, and now she's living in Texas, has a good family. And Joe has a good family, good friends, and so she both played in the band and so and so. And Jonna, oh, that was a little pit bull, but she was a good student, and she's a lovely wife now and has a good family. And Kenneth, the baby, he's a good boy too. So I had a good family. You learn by making mistakes. And you learn not to do them again. And once you set your pattern, like you said, you could give it all you got, a little bit. But you take care of yourself and you learn by other people's mistakes, by their attitude. You can learn a lot just by listening and reading. You don't have to talk, you just listen. And you could read people's minds and attitudes.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.
To present the award tonight to Pat Szush is Kevin Claymont, Mayor of Thibodaux. Coach Pat Szush.
Well, I tell you, this is a wonderful occasion with the family here, the friendship with Morton, all my friends and family. I was very successful, but I had good kids. I had good athletes. They were very smart. They could change their formations at halftime, defense. They did a great job, and I wound up, I had some of the best coaches in the United States. Laurie DuPont was one of them. I had Cam Morvan, Carol Gula. You could name Fontenot, Henderson, Poindbuff. You can't do it by yourself. You have to work with people, and we had a great season. We had great friends. I had my lovely wife for 68 and a half years. She was my offensive and defensive coordinator. And we did a lot of traveling. We loved everybody, and I have a wonderful family, great grandkids. You can't beat it. And I want to thank the foundation and everybody that's here tonight Thank you. I appreciate it, and I love you.